Kayleigh Swift. I'm one of the directors at NB Property Law, and I thought I'd take the opportunity to introduce myself, the firm, and also the Property Power Talks podcast. So, first of all, as I mentioned, I am the director here at NB Property Law. So, NB Property Law, we are made up of 4 divisions for the No Borders Law Group. So, we have ourselves, the NB Property Law Division, we have the NB Employment Law Division, NB Migration Law, and also NB Commercial Law. Essentially, we're located in Brisbane, Milton. We have other offices in Sydney and also Adelaide, and teams across each of those offices. For NB Property Law, we like to think that we offer a personalised, proactive advice to minimise risk and take the stress out of your next property transaction or estate planning matter. We are more than just a team of legal experts here at NB Property Law. We're actually dedicated problem solvers committed to creating personalised solutions to guide you forward. So whether it be residential or commercial property law concerns, we're here to provide you the clarity and guidance you need. In terms of my actual self as a director of NB Property Law, so basically my background, I've been part of the NB Property Law team for the last 8+ years. As I mentioned, I'm the director here. I like to think that I'm able to showcase my experience in all things commercial and residential property matters, along with both estate planning and estate administration. Prior to actually joining the No Borders Law Group, I was part of commercial property team in a mid-sized law firm here in Brisbane, and previous to that held positions in a local council property department, which is what flared my interest for property law altogether. These past roles, I would say, they've exposed me to high-level advisory work spanning across, residential, trustee, telecommunications, commercial, and also retail leasing. I've been able to gain substantial experience in both purchase and sale acquisitions, whether it be compulsory or voluntary, also strata and multi-unit developments, railway, flood mitigation projects, among some others. I suppose this broad exposure I've had over my career has been able to equip me with what I need, and that is being able to advise my clients on the potential challenges associated with property development and also investment. So in addition to my property law expertise, I've also, as I mentioned, got significant experience in estate administration and also just estate planning in general. So I'm able to help clients to make sure that their assets are actually protected, they've got their estate planning documents in place, and then unfortunately when needed, obviously deal with estate administration matters, which is, dealing with probate applications and distribution of estates to beneficiaries. We take a holistic approach with our estate planning and estate administration work. We work with the parties involved to make sure that we get the outcome that our client wants and needs to find a way forward for their problems in the legal sphere. I'm also passionate about anything to do with commercial property estate planning, and basically just striving to provide my clients with the legal advice that they need to aid them in their business development and also their personal growth. Above all, though, I'd say that I like to prioritize delivering advice in practical business terms to ensure smooth transactions for all my clients. In terms of NB Property Law and the services we provide to our clients, we always pride ourselves on providing, straightforward advice on property matters. So whether we've got clients for purchasing their first home or their 100th investment property, we're always here to make sure that our clients' interests are protected. Whether they're a business, a body corporate, commercial client, individual, whatever you are, we know that your property assets are a significant investment now and also in the future. So our experienced team help our clients navigate contracts, regulations and legal requirements to provide their interests, and we're also here to provide personalised and proactive legal advice to take the actual stress out of the next property matter that you've got going on. So in terms of what I'm planning to do with this podcast, obviously there'll be a few different agenda items, but property power talks, I think it's very relevant at the moment. People are always talking about the local barbecue, what's happening in the property market, how do we go about doing certain things. So I'd like to see the Property Power Talks podcast as the go-to source for cutting-edge insights into property law, estate planning strategies, and also seamless estate administration matters. So insights into property law, we'll be looking at things such as, new legislation as it's being looked at through, different levels of parliament and government, and, when it actually is enacted, what does that mean for you as a buyer, as a developer, as a buyer's agent, a mortgage broker, anyone that's involved in that property transaction. We want to be able to provide the insights into that legislation update and changes to the laws as they come about, and be the go-to source of information. In terms of estate planning strategies, so I'll be interviewing, various different people with all of this advice we're giving out. So we might be looking to, touch base with financial planners and have them on the podcast to give you a bit of more insight into, what it is that we need to make sure that we've got in place for you as clients to make sure your estate planning needs are looked after, and that your assets are actually going to who you actually desire. There's no point building up this, wealth portfolio of various, properties, or maybe your interest is investing in the stock market, whatever it could be, if your estate's not even going to go to who you want it to go because you haven't had the time or haven't had the reason to see a need to actually draft estate planning documents that are valid and legally binding. And then I suppose the last element of the Property Power Talks podcast is talking about seamless estate administration. So estate administration is not an area that many people outside the law really want to be dealing with. Estate administration is not a topic of discussion until unfortunately someone passes away, and then obviously they're needing to scramble to understand, what is a probate application? Can they just transfer the property, to the daughter who they think, would have been the ultimate beneficiary for that testator? And looking at all the different decisions and things that beneficiaries, need to consider, and the executor of your estate, what role they're going to play in it, and how lawyers can assist with, making that a seamless transaction, and helping guide those executors, and keeping, beneficiaries at bay to deal with it. We'll have, like I mentioned, various guest speakers coming on from time to time to help aid the information we're providing you with. As I said, my background is as a legal director and a property and estate planning lawyer. So obviously, I'm not going to be giving you the information on financial planning strategies or tax reasons for, setting up a certain structure to purchase your next property in, but we'll hopefully be able to have those, accountants, financial planners and the likes on the Property Powers Talks to give you that further insight and answer those questions that you have. By all means, if you've got a particular topic, a particular guest speaker that you'd like to have us interview, or maybe just answer some of those, hot topics that you've been burning desire to ask, then feel free to send us a message, on either Facebook, LinkedIn, send us an email, and we will make sure that we read all those suggestions and hopefully put them forward in the podcast. So as I mentioned, I'm looking forward to what the podcast is going to reveal in the episodes to come. We've already started recording some of the episodes. There's some great ones lined up in the near future, and I think everyone's going to be able to gain a lot of ideas, a lot of thought-provoking questions from it, and we want to hear your feedback. So if you've got any feedback, questions along the way, like I said, send it through to us, and we'll be sure to listen. But hopefully going forward, you'll be able to gain some worthy information to help you along your property and estate planning journey. As I mentioned, we'll be launching this podcast very soon, so stay tuned on our social media, subscribe to the podcast to be at the forefront for when episode number 1 is released. But for now, thank you for your time, and look forward to launching the Property Powers Talk podcast and keeping you all abreast with updates on law and things as they progress in both the property and estate planning world. Thank you, everyone.